So we have one student online, right? You said?
Yes, yes. And some students they have reached in the campus. Uh,
Okay.
they
Not yet.
were they were not letting them inside actually because their name were not there. So now they have gone inside. You will be finding them right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
ठीक
yeah.
है. Then let me check that. Okay, the students are come. I will be beginning in 2, 3 minutes.
They have arrived
Yes, they are here.
in the same room. They are
Yes, yes.
all
I'm
right.
just
All right.
trying to connect through the screen. Just I'll need
Uh-huh.
2 minutes. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Presentation is on, but I can like this. Hmm. It's connected, but it's a little bright, right?
See now, it's okay now. See? See?
I'll just,
Yeah.
okay.
So you can do it full screen.
Yeah, I'm just doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Better now? All right.
As
So
in
we've
reflect.
Yeah, we've connected to the screen and we have students here.
Yeah. Good afternoon, students. We have Dr. Modesa here today to give you an insight about the fashion industry and the career opportunities in the industry of fashion. So as you always know that there are fashion designers, so and most of you have done enrolled whatever your courses. So what are the different career opportunities? Besides the designer, how can you promote, how can you get careers in the fashion industry? So Dr. Modesa, please start.
Okay. So it sounds good to hear Dr. Mohandasa. I've officially not got the title yet. I'm awaiting the title of doctor. I'll just introduce myself quickly. I have done my bachelor's and master's in textile and fashion technology as well as my PhD. So my doctorate also 4-5 years of doctorate in textile and fashion technology from Mumbai University. And I worked as a designer for a company.
Tissa, we are unable to hear you.
Okay, then I cannot move around. Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll have to stay in front of the laptop, which is very unlike what I don't prefer
Yes,
that.
but
Okay.
no
Yeah,
option.
Yeah, no problem. So I have worked as a designer. I've been working since 8 years now in this industry. I love design. When I was in school, I thought of, I'm sure a lot of you also are one of those who have always had this fond liking towards, dressing up, looking at people, looking at designers. So I come from that similar passion. And I always wanted to be a designer. My first role was honestly, I want to work under the best fashion designer in India. Who is that? Sabyasachi? Yeah, but at that time, 7-8 years ago, it was more of Manish Malhotra. So I had the same, you can say, dream of working there. And I actually went for the interview as well. And when they told me that you just come out of college, this is one thing you will face after you complete your education, that you will have to gain a lot of other experience also, industry experience. So it's good if you get it during your college when you work part-time or you take internships, or after your college if you take up some projects or you work internships for free or for some less stipend. But I was wanting to work immediately after college. And they liked my work. My portfolio was it was it was like an image of what I have worked, what I have done in my 5 years of education. But they wanted somebody more experienced. Again, something you will hear in future once you pass your graduation, you will hear that people are looking for experienced people. So I also came across that, and they told me you work somewhere for 1 year and you come back. After 1 year, we'll surely take you. So I almost forgot about it. I went in my own career line. And after a year, I actually got a call from them, and they were offering me a job at their studio. But at that time, I was like, no, now I don't want this job anymore. So I went on to start my own label, uh, Ridziva. It's a label I started very young. After my college, I work with creating custom made outfits, Indian party wears, all kinds of custom made outfits. I was doing this along with my PhD and along with my work. And then I went into academics, again, a job I thoroughly enjoyed. I was with Amity for around 5.5 years. And yeah, I think I don't know any of you now, but there was a time where we were quite popular in Amity.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay,
Relate to students really well.
yeah.
The age and the looks and
Not right. Yeah,
I'm very dedicated.
thank you. She was my colleague. So that's how my journey went on, students. Now I have also launched another brand for myself, Mosh. That is completely Western casual outfits. It's something that I'm not designing the outfits, but I'm curating the outfits. So again, it's why I'm saying all these things about myself is also to give you an inspiration, I would say, or an idea that, these are the things that even you can do. I took up designing, I took up academics, I took up my own custom wear clothing brand, entrepreneur. I took up a brand that I've just started. It's been almost 6 months, not more than that, where I'm curating outfits and I'm working mostly with Instagram. So that is one place where now you can see maximum designers selling. So anyone can do that. But what is important is, along with doing whatever you can, is also your education and getting the most out of it. So here comes why we are here. My screen is shared. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So it's okay. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about, and you please feel free to ask questions. You all are also first year students. We have some students who are aspiring to join this career online. So even you can ask questions whenever you feel like. I'm going to cover a brief on these topics. What is design? You may understand design as something that you create, but let's understand what else is beyond design and what are the various options in design as a career. There are a lot of options. Trust me, this is one industry where you have some profession for everybody. If you love to create, you have a profession. If you love to draw, you have a profession. If you love to embroider, you have a profession. If you love colors, you have a profession. If you love fabrics, you have a profession. If you love to teach, you love to talk, you have a profession. If you love to write about fashion, you have a profession. And all of this will get you through your 4 years of your education. You will discover yourself. Every year, I would say, you would feel that I like designing. Then you will be like, I'm done with designing, I want to write. Then you'll be like, I want to do something with marketing. Again, a very trending career. So you will discover that about yourself also, but it's important for you to also know that these exist. So that is why we are here, and we are going to talk about little bit about education in this field, and what um, careers are possible in this field, what are trending right now, and is it the right one for me? Okay, so this industry we're talking about is, what is this? This is your brain, right? This is the left side of the brain. It works with what? You're aware of this? It's basic. It works with logic, it works with analytics. It is very scientific, this part of your brain. No doubt, we will be using this part of our brain in our lives if we have chosen this career. But more than that, this colorful, vibrant side of our brain will be overpowering our lives for the next 10, 20 years, I would say. Um, Having said that, it doesn't mean that technical knowledge is not going to be a part of your life. You have to have a lot of technical understanding of the subject, as well as a lot of creativity. And your right side, believe me or not, it is a lot to do with also what you are born with. It's something that comes innate in you. And there are skills that you can acquire. So even if there are skills that say, good color sense or good understanding of design, they can be developed and they can be acquired. But you should know that, you have to work upon these things. Having said that, there can be skills like drawing. You can have a natural flair for drawing. So all of these you will see will be overpowering the side of your brain, and that is where you are going to be using the most. And when we say what is design, design is a very, very broad term. I will limit it again to the fashion and textile industry, because in design, you can have, like, even beyond this industry, you can have a lot of design. You can have interior design, you can have architectural design, you can have product design, you can have a lot more. But I would limit it to say this industry where fashion and textile is a part of it. So have you heard of any of these words? Visual merchandising, apparel merchandising. Have you heard of costume designing, illustrator, textile designing, fashion styling? Have you all heard of them? But do you know what these entail? What does let me tell you, what does a fashion stylist do? Yes. Yes. And where would typically a fashion stylist be working? Where? What will be the setup? Ramps, not so much. Okay. Okay. Now, again, there's a very fine line there between costume designing and fashion stylist. I have worked as a costume designer myself for a couple of movies, and I have a very good friend who's a fashion stylist. So I can tell you the actual difference between the two. Fashion stylist, you will see mostly dealing with, you can say, photo shoots, advertising. Even nowadays, you have TV shows, series, where they are only curating outfits and the entire look. You understand curating? You're going to put together outfits. You're going to put together everything together to make a look. And costume designing is something that you create from scratch. So one is curating and one is creating. That's the difference. Some people may not like to actually design or think and create, but you may have a natural flair of putting things together. I understand the role, I understand the assignment, what is the character speaking, and I'm able to put a look, including the hair, makeup, jewelry. So you have a lot of celebrities, they have their own personal stylists as well. There are a lot of famous personal stylists also. You should go on Instagram and you should, whenever you see uh, a celebrity putting a picture, they will always tag their fashion stylist. So either it's permanent or they also keep changing. And you should actually go and follow them. You also understand how they work. And there is a stylist who can work for multiple celebrities as well. And apart from celebrity management, they also work with, say, advertisements. If there is a photo shoot, there's a catalog shoot, whatever. And costume designing is, have you seen like Hiramandi recently? All of you? What do you have to say about the costumes? Extravagant, okay. You have seen, ma'am? You should see. It's beautiful in terms of the look. Yes, yes. Yes.
The looks, the kind of period they're working, and I think it's called look of the
Yes, yes, yes. So it's the pre-independence period. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, exactly. So that's the job of a costume designer, to understand each character. Now, if you pick up two characters from there also, I'm just like giving you, like, relevant examples that you understand. If you pick up two characters from there, the mother and say the daughter, the colors that were used, the silhouettes that were used, the hairstyle, everything had a purpose, and everything, there was a vision for it. The same thing could not have been given for everybody the same look. If there was a character, if you know the Joe, you saw her, the way she was dressed, the way her look was put together was again very different. She had to look like madly in love, and she had to look like very feminine. So that kind of color, silhouette, makeup, hair, everything was given to her. Now that is the job of a costume designer who creates this. These outfits, you will not get it on rent like a stylist would do. So that is created from scratch, right from the embroidery and everything. Anything before we go, any word that is not, that you are not aware of, you've not heard of before? Apparel construction. What is apparel construction? To create an outfit. Apparel is what? A garment, right? To create a garment, you can be a seamstress, or you can be an apparel. You're working with patterns. You're working with creating the outfit. And how is it? How are you making an outfit? Right? Have you been introduced to the process? You first take your measurements, then you make a draft, a pattern, then you cut the fabric, you mark the fabric, you cut the fabric, and then you stitch the fabric. Even that can be you have expert pattern makers. It may seem like a laborer's job, but trust me, it's not. You can be like, earning very, very well and just being a pattern maker. Am I right, ma'am? Yeah. So
The thing is when you design something, it's on the paper. On the paper, when it comes from actual. So it's making a product. So if you don't know you can just design, but if you don't know how to make it, like you don't have an idea, then your design is it.
yeah.
You must have realized in the school, the students designed the but they were unable to produce it.
Yeah.
So that skill of production, producing that design to production, making of the product is regular things in case of apparel manufacturing, apparel construction. That's what
It becomes then, any no offense, but a woman who's a housewife thinks of pursuing her fashion career and just starts designing and getting it made from tailor. That kind of knowledge is very limited. She would not know how to make the garment. Whereas pursuing a full-fledged course in fashion design, understanding all the technical parts of a garment is what is necessary. Like, how is the collar? Where is the collar ending? Where is the placket? Everything of a garment is to be decided and to be understood by the designer, not the tailor. The tailor will say, you tell me what to do, I will do.
there is design has to have some proportion. So that proportion also need to understand what would be the width of my collar, what is the width of my neckline, placket,
Yes.
which makes you look beautiful. There are different talk about the fashion study. The depth width of the neckline also gives you a different look. So that's where, and that thing, that knowledge, tailor may not have. You have to define and then to be very precise by making a sketch. Secondly, all the designers have they've been valuing this master G's and tailors because that's the backbone of it. Because design से बना के कुछ नहीं हो, actually in reality में नहीं होगा तो कुछ नहीं होगा. So that they even have tailors and master G's. They're like they think that without them the company will not. Because their design only master G's and tailors can make. If master G he makes a mistake in the cuts, the design will go wrong. That's how important.
Yes. Yes. And if you want to, now that you have started, but there are students who have not yet chosen their career in this industry. As I said this earlier as well, you need first of all a certification, an education in design. A lot of people may not. A lot of people know. I'll say now the numbers are changing. There are some people who do not understand the importance of education in design, but it is very, very important because here in the education, you will understand the A to Z of the industry. And I would suggest and I would urge you to take maximum out of your education, be it if it's a fashion show that you're supposed to participate in, be it a competition, be it a portfolio of any subject, starting from first year, start working on your portfolios because all of these are going to be built up and all of these are going to be a showcase to your employer once you pass after you complete your graduation. So certification, of course, and your natural talent. I'm sure all of you, when you chose this career or if you are choosing this career, there would be a spark or there would be an instinct why you have chosen this, right? You don't just think that, okay, I'm not good in science and commerce, so let me take design. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा. Very maybe, actually, maybe one or two would be like that. But mostly you have something in you, some passion or some liking or some natural talent in you that you thought that this career is good for me. That is very, very important. And if you've not found that yet, it's important for you to find it now. Okay, that what is your natural talent? Maybe some of you are really good in writing and you discover that through your assignments in college. So that is something you have to pick on. Suppose somebody is really good in computer designing, like graphics or creating digital designs. So that can also be something you can take ahead. So identify your natural talent, very important. What is something that comes very naturally to you? You know, for some people, it may be a struggle. Like this color ke saath, what color looks good? What looks good with beige? Some of you may actually struggle. Okay, but for some of you, it may come just very naturally. Like a good shade of blue is good with beige, for example. So that is what I'm trying to say. First, identify your natural talent and acquire the skill set that is necessary in this industry. You are aware of this. I will skim through this. You have Amity offering you 4 different programs: fashion design, textile product design, fashion styling and image design, fashion communication. What is interesting here is that in each of these programs, like let me pick fashion design, there could be at least 10 opportunities for you to work. If I talk about my batchmates, each of them are doing a different job in their career. So there are so many options available. And how do you identify that? I told you, remember 2 things. Your natural, what are you really good at naturally? And what skill have you acquired? Like I'm not too great in digital design, honestly. I would prefer something hand sketched. So then I would not go for obviously a career or a future with that, unless I want to, I understand that the world is transforming into a digital age and it's very relevant. And I want to acquire that skill set, then you can go for it. So natural or acquired. So why design? I think I have already spoken a lot about this. Very importantly, this industry will never shut down. Will we stop wearing clothes? No. Will there anytime be a life where there'll be no more fashion shows? No. Will this brand stop selling clothes? No. There will be brands, there will be luxury brands, there will be premium brands, there will be fashion designers, there'll be local tailors. This industry will never shut down. What does that mean? The job will never close. If you realize in COVID, there were so many careers that suddenly just, shut down. Careers that I would say companies shut down. Why? Because there was no requirement of it. But what did not shut down? 2, 3 industries are always popular. Food, clothing. I would say shelter also on and off. Houses change in Mumbai every time. And of course, medicine and all of that. But apart from, like, these are the core of what humanity exists, right? So this will never shut down. You need to understand where is your calling. In this industry, while you work, you can also, if you love travel, you're going to travel a lot. You're going to meet a lot of people here, like I'm meeting you and you are meeting me. So this is a dynamic industry and you'll have a lot of challenges here. Once you get into it, you will also understand the challenges. But yes, it is very dynamic. And if you see the trend today in India and actually globally is becoming very conscious, like environmental conscious. Everybody is talking about sustainability. Do we know what sustainability is? Now we have brands competing with each other. I am more sustainable than you. I am more environmental friendly than you. This is the competition of the world that we are living in today. Everybody's talking about healthy living, good well-being, mental health, and all of this is also extending into sustainable fashion. So sustainable fashion, again, you have a lot of scope here. You want to create your own fashion. brand that is fashion conscious, you can say conscious about the environment, you can do that. There are, any of you are aware of any fashion conscious brands? No? Homework. Make a note. At least you will find popular brands, 5 popular brands that are doing something good with being conscious. When I say being conscious, what do we mean? It can be a lot of things. When you read up about sustainability, you will understand that sustainability is not only not cutting down trees. It is a lot more than that. It also means not wasting water. When you manufacture clothes, specifically or denims, you are consuming a lot of water. Now there are brands, even for shoes, there are brands that are creating waterless jeans. Have you heard of that? Levi's? Yes. Then even clothes, Decathlon does that. They collect ocean plastic and they create their shoes, even their clothes. So all of this attracts the customers more because, of course, the entire mindset of the world has changed, especially after COVID, right? Are we not talking about good well-being and good lifestyle? So that's now the trend specifically in the industry. And of course, there's a forecast that this industry is going to grow a lot more from 180 crores worth industry today in India. It's going to grow to 1,000 crore in 5 to 10 years. And of course, India is one of the biggest hubs for fashion, for craftsmanship, for be it any traditional kind of embroidery, work, anything. India is the hub because you'll have a lot of skilled people here. And when you compare it to the Western world or the other parts of the world, it's much cheaper. So you have business not only of India, but you have a very big part of the market that dedicates to exporting of the clothing. So I have a friend who has his embroidery unit here, and they supply to you all know the Lebanese designer Zuhair Murad Ali Saab. They are couture designers. So of course they're not going to be able to afford the embroidery there. So he takes care of Zuhair Murad Ali Saab and all the other big brands. The embroidery happens in India and Mumbai because the labor is cheap. Designs are happening here. Designers are doing the designing here. The raw materials mostly come from there, but sometimes it comes from here as well. And then sometimes even stitching happens here. So the market is not only catering to Indian market, but it is also catering to a very big portion of global market. And if you see, there are a lot of people also working in export houses. Have you heard of anybody tell you I'm working in an export house? Never? You heard? You heard? What have you heard?
They're working with export houses.
So export house, if you're working, you're a designer in export house or you're a merchandiser in an export house. You are doing the same thing. You are designing clothes. You are creating an outfit. You're working with tailors. You're sitting with the karakars. And the outfit that is going to be made is going to be exported outside India. So that is what working in an export house means. You have a lot of export houses in India, in Mumbai itself. A lot of you are also in this area. So again, that. And just, you all know the first pictures of whose? Very classic, no? What does that mean, you know? He's created an identity without even, it's not even the red lehenga, it's the kind of the way the models are standing. When you see it, you know it's that brand. So if you ever wish to have your own brand, that is what you need to set your standard. That when you see a picture, you see the lehenga, or even forget the lehenga, you're not even able to see the details of the lehenga. You're only able to see the photograph, how they are standing. Identity. That itself will speak that this is the brand. Of course, not everyone becomes a Sabyasachi. Not everyone should become, in fact. But there is, of course, scope. Why not? One of you will become, if not all of you. So why not be motivated? So if you have to be different from the other in this industry, you have to constantly think of how you can be better. You'll have to be in sync with what the trends are. You have to create your own identity. You have to have your own style. Start from having your own independent style of how you dress to college. It starts from there. Do you feel you have your independent style? You feel? When we see you every day, you have that style that reflects and it talks about your personality. Do you feel what you wear talks about your personality? Yes or no? You think it's important? I'll always see Nutan ma'am in a beautiful, gorgeous sari and a nice bun and a bindi. That's her style. If I'll see her wearing something like this, I would be like, no, this is not her style. So it's very important, starting from being a student, identify your style, be loyal to your style, and then take it forward. Because this could be Sabyasachi's style, which he has created into an iconic look. Your style could be the next iconic look. Yeah. Okay, so when you choose this career, if you ever, now that you've already joined, but we have students online, it's very important to also be very realistic. It's very good to look at these pictures and think of, being in this world, but also realistically, it's very important to choose your institute, your education, which is offering you solid education. When I say solid education, I mean good industry exposure, good kind of projects, portfolio making, good kind of workshops, and most importantly, placements. So these are things, and of course, the curriculum and course, but also how well they are connected or how well they connect you with the outside world, the real world. That's very important. And that's what I'm sure you have looked at while you chose, and the others who need to choose need to look at. Is your degree recognized? Very basic questions. Nowadays, you have, I would say, hundreds of colleges in Mumbai. That what is the recognition of the degree? Not sure, not sure. And would your employer choose a degree of which has no affiliation or less affiliation opposed to a degree which has more recognition? Yes, of course. If you feel that your degree is only a piece of paper, that's not true. Yes. And it's important to have a good recognized degree, whether it's a piece of paper or not, but it's going to take you ahead in life. Right? Yeah, so I almost covered these points telling you like what it is to be a designer. When you say I want to be a designer, it's not one job. It's not that there is one process that you do it entirely. No. You choose which part of the process you want to do in the fashion design process. All the subjects you have in your college, you have CAD, you have garment construction, you have pattern making, you have illustration. What are these? These are giving you a glimpse of what job you can take. And it doesn't mean that if you are a designer, you do from ideation till production, everything. You will do that only if it's your own brand. Only and only when it is your brand, you will do from A to Z, all of this. But if you're working, initially, you're going to choose one area which you would like to work. If you like digital design, you can go into graphics. You can go into digital illustrations. If you are good with hand sketching, you're only designing on paper. That's your job every day. If you like to work with fabrics, then you're going to source fabrics. You're going to choose an illustrator will do the designing. You have to go and do the fabric choice, fabric handling, all of that. You have to take care of the fabric, getting the fabric embroidered, dyed, printed, all of that. If you want to work with fabrics, so that's going to be your role. If you're good with getting the product made, you can be a merchandiser. What does a merchandiser do? Not creating a design, Somebody else did the design, you take the design and you get it made with your pattern master and your tailor and everything. If you're good with that. If you're good with marketing, you have so many luxury brands that offer you marketing jobs, sales jobs. Now, sales is a little bit not so preferred, but fashion consultant job, I would say, where you can consult customers. Okay, this is the look that you can go for. You work with luxury brands. So you don't have a course specifically for being a fashion, what do you say, influencer or a fashion consultant. It's the same thing. You choose an area. Did you understand? If you like to work with the setup of your store, you can be a visual merchandiser. You'll have heard of this current fashion influencer trend. How you all know a lot of fashion influencers? Fashion influencers? Yeah. Who are the popular fashion influencers? Say, Komal. Urfi. She's okay. All right. Who knows other fashion influencers? Komal. Yes, they're all like a group of friends, no? Khushi, Kapila, Dolly, they're all fashion influencers. And who else? You know, most of them actually have done a fashion course. Yes, and a lot more also. Now, this is a debate when I talk about fashion influencer. It can be, yes, yes. It can be a matter of debate, a topic of debate when we talk about influencers, because today the trends that we see, at least on Instagram, that anybody and everybody is becoming a fashion influencer, right? Whether you have a degree or you have a commerce degree or whatever, it doesn't matter. But of course, if you have a fashion degree, becoming a fashion influencer gives you much more leverage because you understand the ABCs of design, of fashion, right? And then you are practicing what you preach is preferred over somebody else who's becoming an influencer. But again, as I said, it's a debate because you can have a bigger fashion influencer who doesn't have a fashion degree. But still, this industry is, you know how much they earn in a month, a fashion influencer? Huh? Yes, quite a lot in lakhs, I would say. They get paid per reel, per post, and all of this. Yes, all of this I also realized, of course, being active on Instagram and also when I started my label, where I wanted to get more visibility. How do you get visibility? You have to approach also influencers who have higher visibility, right? And all of this is once you get into it, you'll understand the market. My God, you want them to do a post for you, pay 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 for small influencers. How many followers they have? 10,000, not much. 5,000. You pay 5,000 rupees. It's an entire market in itself. It's an entire business in itself. And yes, it requires a lot of skill set. I do believe that, right? You require to, the reels, we feel that there's no big deal in creating a reel, but it, exactly, right? Ma'am, you're aware? So while I was in, yeah.
I was taking visual then,
Hmm.
and how does it influence my business then?
Yes. And the best work I would say right now, the trending career in fashion who are minting money are these fashion influencers. My gosh. And if you hear it from them, they're also saying that they are full-time busy, they are working, but they are actually earning so much. They talk about fashion, they talk about styling many a times. They try a lot of brands and then they suggest you brands. They create different looks. So understanding of design is also again here it is important. They're mostly doing also like styling, right? Have you seen how they style the entire look? So fashion influencer is one big, and it is going to increase much more, I would say. And one thing good that happened with the rise of fashion influencers is smaller brands got also visibility and recognition. Until then, we thought only cosmetic brands, mean these are the brands, Indian wear, these are the brands. But they are also good influencers, I would say, who actually value authenticity and value good products also over just money. So a lot of your brands got visibility from these influencers, and you can be the next influencer. Or if you have your brand, you have to collaborate with influencers. So anyways, you're going to be linked with them. Any of you are doing already? I've seen a lot of college students already starting to do influencing. Yeah, you were doing fashion influencing?
No, business.
Okay, you had your business.
I have my aunt is influencers have seen behind the scenes.
Oh. They have an entire team.
Yeah.
I was also surprised to know that. I thought it was just a one-man show, but it's an entire team. Yeah, their lights, and they have videographers who do the editing, editors. Yes. And if you're a big influencer like Komal Pandey or other big influencers, then so you have like a full PR as well. Yes. But that's like crazy. I think that has completely changed after we have uh, digital shopping, or I would say online shopping. E-commerce was always there, but it's become so prominent right now that in your house you can stay and you can have brands and you can be running a big business. And there are a lot of, again, there's a career here where you take care of social media. A friend of mine, her job is to take care of other people's social media. If you are a brand, you're not going to do it yourself, of course, unless you know how to do it and you have the time to do it. You have to appoint people. And again, you know how much they earn, a social media manager or a social media. Why? Because they are creating, they should be good with digital art. They create the graphics online. They have to be good with understanding SEO words. Have you heard of search engine optimizations? All of this is all your virtual world. Have you heard of SEO? Keywords, Google AdWords. All of these, knowing which are the correct words to use and what are the correct phrases to use so that you get more visibility. Right now, it's who is visible is selling. So that is what the market has completely changed, and you can have a full-fledged business without anything visible physically. Everything can be virtual. Any questions? Anything you want to discuss here? Online? Here, this is a model I have shown, a creative teaching learning model, which I feel is very, very for a student who is pursuing or interested in pursuing this career, whether it's textile design or fashion design or anything related to this industry. And I have listed these 8 points, which I feel are extremely important to gain. And surprisingly, Amity offers them. Okay. So industry exposure, that was a joke. Okay. So of course, it's very important to gain industry exposure, not after you have finished your education, but while you are studying. There are many a times the college is offering you, but you don't feel interested, or you don't feel you are too occupied with your college and your assignments, and you don't want to take these opportunities. But if you have any such opportunities, students, it's very, very good for you to grab them and go for them. Because all of these small industry exposure will build onto your portfolio and give you a beautiful package in your CV. It's going to be visible in your CV, whether it's a 1 month thing, whether it's a design competition, whether it's anything related to the industry. even a small brand. But if you have such offers that your college is offering you, whether it's not compulsory or compulsory, I would suggest that you take it. It's going to be very, very beneficial for you. And of course, a lot of guest lectures like one we are having right now. It's very important to build a good network right from your young age. Right now, if I need something, I need a stylist, I need a photographer, I need a model, I need anything, I have contacts because I have built them over these years. And how have I built them? By interacting with people. And how do I interact with people? With my college? No, also beyond that. And also grabbing these opportunities, whether it's a lecturer who came to deliver a talk on something random, but I got some contact through him. He knew somebody. Or a workshop, an artisan came to my college for taking a workshop. I'm not interested in embroidery, but somewhere, sometime it's going to help you. So grabbing these opportunities, building your contacts, building your connections is going to be very crucial for you. Right? Do you believe in the power of good contacts? Yes. And from right now itself, it's going to be very important for you to build these. Whether it's going to help you today or not, irrelevant. But in future, somewhere or the other, you're going to be very resourceful. Have you seen some people who are very resourceful? Whatever you need, they have the contact. Yeah, so it's very important for you as young design enthusiasts to be very resourceful, and that you will get through exposure. Again, grabbing all the experiential learning. Yes, your employer will look for good scores in your academics, but all of these, how many workshops did you attend? Did you participate in your college magazine, creating blogs? They may seem right now overburdened as students. That why do I have to write an article? Why do I have to participate in a conference, writing a research paper? But all of these are collecting your goodie points for you. And ultimately, if you have two individuals who did the same program, same course, everything same, but one person gets a better opportunity for growth in her career life over the other, could be because of these things. She was handling the magazine of the school, or she wrote an article, or she presented a paper, a research paper in a conference for your own school. Or you did an exhibition. It was supposed some random college festival in Amity, and you put a stall and you sold some products and you got some contacts. All these small things may seem very trivial to you as students, and added burden that your teacher is telling you. But at least take it from me, who's not your teacher, that it is very, very important. You all write articles in magazines and blogs? We have a school blog, right? Any of you have written anything? You are the editor? You worked as the editor. So if you have done something like this, it adds into your CV. Anybody else written anything for the school magazine, blog, or the magazine? No? Do you know we have a magazine? Have you ever asked that you want to write? Or you're not interested in writing? Then if you're not interested in writing, you can draw if you're good in drawing. Have some beautiful sketches and put it up in the magazine. Anyway, you should get your way. If you're going to sit, nothing is going to happen. So you should take these opportunities, and of course, you will have your fashion show as well. And I believe you are going to be the chosen ones who will be presenting. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how will you be the chosen one? A lot, yes. But also being participative in everything that your college is offering you. Then you are showing your value, you're showing what you're good at. And then of course you're going to be having one step ahead in comparison to the other person who has not participated in things, right? And yeah, these other things that are also important are you have choice-based subjects also, right? when you will go in second, third year, you will have choice-based subjects as well. And you will have minor track. Do you all have minor track? What is minor track? It's a minor degree, right? I was a minor track coordinator in Amity. So if you like photography and you're a fashion student, you can do something in your career with fashion photography. You can do something with marketing and use your photography skills if you've taken as a minor degree. It's a degree, minor degree. It's the concept only which is very, very popular in the Western world, not so much in India. And you are getting that minor degree while you're doing your college degree. So you have to choose something that is also very important, will help you in future, and you can have a good combination as well. What are your minor tracks? Oh, wow, good. Film appreciation. 3 film, 3 photography. Interesting. You'll have educational tours? Field visits, you'll go? Okay. So I will, what will the industry be looking for? Yes, your degree. Don't think it's not important. It is very important. Recommendation letters. How do you get that? Being in the good books of teachers and your director, right? If you have a strong drive to your work, I will not say only to design, because it could be anything that you're interested in. And constantly having the spirit of creating something new. If you do not have this, whether it's writing, whether it's photography, whether it's anything, constantly in this drive to create something new, if this drive is gone, then it's very, very unfortunate, a very unfortunate case. You should never let your innovative drive close. And with all of your skill sets, creating a skill set, creating a profile of yourself that offers unique skill sets. What I mean is, say I'm good at designing. I love styling. I love photography. So this becomes a combination in itself, like a package for your career, for your exposure, whatever. So try to create a good combination of profile for yourself. I would say don't stick with only one interest. Create a combination of interest and you have a good package there. Able to understand what I'm saying? Any of these? Any textile? Now, one thing, even though we have textile product design as a different program, as fashion designers also, you can be a textile designer. What is a textile designer?
The pattern, making,
No, patterns and making is a fashion designer.
the textile print.
Yes. So whatever happens on the fabric, that is the job of a textile designer. Now I know a lot of students who have done degree in fashion designing and who are also textile designers. I mean, they are good with graphics. Like, look at the combination. They like fabrics. They love to do digital designing. Okay. They create digital textiles. So, you know, in every brand, whether it's a boutique brand or it's a high-end brand or it's a very couture brand, all of these also require a textile designer. And the role of a textile designer is, again, this becomes with handwork or it becomes digital. If you're good with digital, then you create graphics on the computer and you can do prints. You can create designs for embroidery. You can create designs for dyeing and printing. So whatever goes on the fabric, that is one area of a textile design. And the same thing can be done manually as well. You're creating the designs of the embroidery. You're a designer who creates this kind of designs for that will come on your fabric. Then another part of textile design is also with the weaving and the knitting and all of that also. That becomes again very technical. But they are also anyone anyone interested in fashion writing? No? Little bit. Anyone interested in what I would say costume designing?
Yes.
Yes,
But yeah, both.
true, that is true. And it's not just the Bollywood industry. The industry for costume design also is huge. You have a lot of other regional movies also that require costume designers. You have, of course, the Bollywood industry. You have these films, not only films, you have series where costume designing is important. And these are again, when you will see the setup, it's very different from what a fashion designer would be. You would not be sitting in an office, uh, sitting and designing and all of that. You will be on field, on the set, and there you're doing everything. So the setup is again very different. All of these jobs that I have put here, a fashion designer would have a very different setup as compared to a visual merchandiser, or as compared to a fashion writer, as compared to a fashion stylist, as compared to a fashion costume designer, as compared to a fashion influencer. Even the setup, you understand the setup? Your workplace, what are you going to be doing is different, and where are you going to be doing is also very different. So all of that. And who said you cannot do more than one? You can do a lot more. You can do 1, 2, 3, whatever. So you can see here, textile designer creates the designs. Do you have any question? And where can you work? You can work, of course, with brands. You can work with a manufacturing unit. You can work in a store. You can work in the back end of a store where the manufacturing unit is. You can work in the front of the store. You can work on a set. You can work in a boutique. You can work as a freelancer. You can have your own company. You can work in your house. You can work anywhere. Based on, of course, what you choose. So if you love solving problems, it's also a very good sign that design is your chosen area. Because what does design at the end do? It's finding solutions to a problem. Have you thought of it in that way? If the problem is that an art form is dying, you are finding a solution for the modern Indian woman, giving her the dying art in a modern look. So you are finding a solution to a problem, but identifying that problem is also very important. And that gives you a niche. Uh, if you pick up an interesting problem and find an interesting solution, that gives you an interesting profile. Are you understanding? Or you're tired? So yes, all of that we've spoken up is in sum with all of this. I would like to know, why did you feel that this is the right career for you? Or do you still doubt yourself? I would like to know, why did you feel that this is the career for me? Anyone would like to share? Or you're still doubtful that no, it's not the right career. I want to go to, I don't know, science. Anybody would like to share their personal? Yes.
I really enjoy dressing up,
Okay.
and I'm really good at makeup, I believe.
Okay.
And then I watched Cruella.
Oh my
So I
God.
saw the Dalmatian dress and I was quite
Oh.
convinced that I think I should do this. It's quite interesting because I found that Dalmatian dress to be quite an like something very different.
Okay.
And that time I was asking my options and what I can do after my 12th. So that time I was considering fashion designing, but then
So you picked up your natural, innate quality that you thought that, yes, I'm good at this, so I would like to take a career in this, right? Interesting. Anybody else? Why do you feel that, uh, what did you think of before joining or before thinking about this as a career? Anybody would like to share? Or you were thinking of something else, becoming a doctor, engineer, and then something happened and you realized that, no, I need to do designing. No?
COVID, when coming to an end, I started with the small business I was talking about.
Yes.
So while creating it, researching, while clicking the pictures, while posting it on social media, everything was handled. So it gave me the spark. This is a nice thing. This is the reason I chose fashion communication.
Oh, you're in fashion communication. Oh, lovely.
So while posting the images,
Hmm.
I got compliments that I have my skills top of it. So I thought I can try this. And fashion together.
Nice. Interesting. So you're enjoying? Anybody else? I would like you to, if you have a book and a pen. No? My God, you just walked out of your hostel. Okay, then whenever you are at your hostel or in college, I will like for you to write down what are your natural innate qualities related to this field, or it could be in what you say, parallel to this field as well. Like it could be photography, not exactly the field, but something parallel. It could be modeling, not exactly the field, but parallel. So make a list of what are these qualities. You would have thought about it before, but what happens is when you start writing down things, you also start thinking differently. You start understanding things much differently. So I will suggest you whenever you have the time, whenever you remember. I know you're a very busy people. You're design students, and I would like you still to give it a thought for yourselves. Write down what are your natural innate qualities that you feel that align with your area that you are in, the industry, and also a list of skills that you would like to acquire that interests you. Of course, everything you should not write, but something that you really feel. Digital designing is something I really would like to acquire. It was an example. So yeah, or if you feel costume designing, or I want to learn how to create garments from an idea, or I want to really learn to create the croquis on sketch, whatever. Try to write down those skills that you really want to acquire. And when you look at these, they will start changing. Your list will change over the year. Second year, you may have a different list. Third year, you may have a different list, but there will still be some things that are common. And when you look at them together, you will automatically be able to understand what should be your profile after you pass out. You know, what happens after you finish your education? I have been teaching students for quite some time. And what I understand is by the end of the fourth year, they're asking, okay, I have finished my education, but what do I work now as? I can do everything or anything. But what you need to work is very important for you to understand, because otherwise what will happen is, and they try something, that's also one way of working. You keep trying till you understand what works best for you. But if you want to work strategically, you understand what you are good at, what you will enjoy, what are your passions, what you can do for the rest 30 years of your life, full day. If you ask, will you be able to teach for the next 30 years of your life? If the answer comes no, then you shouldn't. Or you have the answer that maybe, then you can try for it. But yes, I enjoy teaching. So I thought about it that I love teaching, but I also love designing. So why not? I have my own brand and I also teach. So that is where you will understand what works the best for you. It's good to understand that before, rather than wasting 5-6 years and then realizing that, oh no, this was not it. Otherwise, your employer will look at your CV and tell you that, oh, you worked as a marketing person. Why do you want to do designing now in my company? You have no experience of design. Even if you have worked for 5 years in, say, textile designing, you were creating designs on fabrics, and now you want to do fashion designing. They're going to question you why you are changing. You have experience of textile designing, not so much of fashion designing, but not so much of couture. यहाँ तक कि even they will, even if you work with a ready wear brand versus a custom made brand, even then they will question. If you choose, you start with working with prethwear. You know what's prethwear? Ready to wear brands? Brands that you shop from, H&M, whatever, Zara, and so on and so forth. As opposed to a couture brand, like a designer brand. That market, the process, the career is again different. Everything is so different from the other, and it's very important for you to be sure of what you're getting into. So these lists will help you understand what you're good at, what you would love to do for the next 30 years of your life, and then choose your paths based on that. Does it make sense? Yes or no? Yes. So what would you like to ask me? Anything? Do not get disheartened by rejections. Of course, this will come in your education as well. And even after your education, they are lessons for you to remember lifelong, that you will not have everything on a platter. You will have to work hard for it. You may have to have sleepless nights during your college, working for your portfolios, working for assignments, submissions. But I will only tell you, leave you with this thought that take everything seriously. The minute you say that, I don't care, let it be. It's an assignment submission. Let me not respect the submission date. If that's, once you've come into that section of your attitude, things are going to get really bad for you. Till you realize that, no, this is not what I need in life. So start taking things, whether it's a small assignment. You know, when I was in college, whether it was a very small assignment or whatever, I would never disrespect the timeline. I would be like, we have to do it. So yeah, what's the time? Yeah. So those are some things for you to remember, students. I would like to ask you if you have any questions. And yeah, just have
Being
Yeah.
That will show that how interested I am, because it is really part of your
Question.
creating questions for yourself.
How do you get your first internship or job like outside of college?
So internship, here you are, again, internship is a part of your curriculum. So after your third year, if I'm not mistaken, you have an internship between your 1 year to the second, when you from third to fourth year, you have it as a compulsion where you have to go to an industry and you have to do internship of your choice. And then you have to come back and make a college. And that is really good that it is happening during college. Because like I told you, once you finish college, then you will go and you'll ask, and then the industry will tell you, where's your experience? So you will have this while you're in college. And it is good if you start meeting resource people, collecting contacts for your internships from now. LinkedIn, be active on LinkedIn. You all are on Instagram, but are you on LinkedIn? Good. Any other questions?
Is it that being indecisive, I can't choose between two?
No.
sides?
No.
Even like be like you, like DJ, and like if you have something and you can't pursue it, simultaneously. So how do you do?
You'll have to see right now, if you're talking about your first year, it's very natural to be indecisive. Very, very natural. If you're not indecisive, that means you're stubborn and you're not open to new perspectives. The minute you're indecisive, it means that you're open to many, many perspectives. And your independence will go once you interact with people, you talk to people, you understand the advantages and disadvantages of what job or profile you're talking about, getting a sense out of it, and then finally being decisive, not being indecisive your life. And then also, of course, experimenting and seeing what works best for you. Sometimes you may hear, you may talk to a lot of people, but unless until you don't do it yourself, you will not get the right judgment. So discuss with people, your teachers, your resource people, talk to people, get a clear understanding, try, fail, again try. That's what I can do. I can still see your indecisive.
But that's a good one. Like
Yeah.
use over the period when you work in industry. It keeps on changing a lot of
Dynamic.
trends and styles and work and when you grow in your career, so you're working as a designer at the beginning, you may become a director of a company where
Yeah.
you have to design yourself. You may have to hire 10 designers and you need to understand how to monitor those 10 designers. So that becomes a different job profile where you're not designing, but you're doing something else. So over the period, your career does, it depends how you want to take. Like somewhere you see, okay, I'm going to manage this profile in the whole graph of my career. So that's something, but you're not changing from that. You're not changing your base career.
And everything falls in place once you're focused, you're really diligent, everything falls in place. Trust me.
Anyone online?
Any questions online? There is a chat, let me check. We cannot hear Nutan ma'am's voice.
Not really. When I was thinking that.
Pallavi, yeah. So students, you will have many questions. I understand a lot of things may go on, but you may also not know how to articulate it and how to share your questions or concerns. But hold on to them if you cannot share them right now. Write it down somewhere. You can ask me later. You can ask any of your teachers later. But it's always good to research. Keep checking. When I was in your place, this, what I would say, at least 5 to 6 careers that I put on the board were non-existent. They did not exist. And I'm not talking about many years ago. Okay. So imagine when you are here after 5, 6 years, there will also be so many more opportunities that can come and that may also be of your interest or alignment. So always be with an open mind and learn. You are in this creative industry, try as much as you can. जितना है सब try कर लो. जो है सब कर लो. Build your contacts, talk to people, interact, even outside college, go for exhibitions, go to everywhere, I would say, and get as much experience as you can. Because if you have experience, you have things to talk about. If you have an employer hiring you, and if you have no experience of what is happening in this industry or the world, you are blindfolded, then it's not going to help you. But if you know what you have experienced things, you know what to talk about, of course you have a higher chance.
You never asked any question. So I want you to ask one question, anything. Mommy should not see us here. Okay, so you both have to ask one question.
We are on time, okay?
Yeah, but
Yes.
some waiting, guys. So when you go for any seminar, any workshop, you should be prepared with a list of
True.
questions you will ask. Is it 11,000? Seems like we're talking about the 11th thing of the day. Do you have any questions? All sorted in mind.
I have a question out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Since like you have your brand now, custom brand, what was it like before? Like what all did you like? What was the clients that? Like, of course, you must have tried things before coming down. Like,
Yeah.
this is your go-to. So how do you like figure that out?
So
What
I
all
So basically, I have 2 brands. I told you one brand I started 6 months ago, where I'm curating outfits, not creating them. The first brand that I launched, Ziva, of course, it was my passion. You talk to any design student or design person, they would love to have their own brand, and I was one of them. I wanted to have my own brand. I wanted to be my own boss in terms of designing. And I have worked for somebody else as a designer, and I knew the difference, how it can get frustrating to not make your own choices, to think of how their brand aligns and design for them. Of course, for each one, it suits whatever they like. But I wanted to have my own style and my own brand. That's why I launched it. There were not many hurdles before that, but I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to keep it only for, like party wear or bridal wear. I have done some bridal outfits as well. And the process is not very easy of the running the brand. It was difficult because you have to deal with one-on-one customers. And if customers are paying you, then they believe that they have bought you. So that is also one thing you should be ready to handle their, what you say, their whatever nakras or whatever they have. There was a lot of other skill set also. I had to be, initially I was not so, I was more like not very, I would not like to talk to people as much. I still don't, but I'm in that career where
That's
I
not
have
true.
to.
That's
So, but I realized that you meet so many people, whether you like the person or not. She was my client, for example. If she was my client, whether I liked her or not, I had to talk to her, right? So that was one thing I had to work on. And if you are not a good talker, you are not a good interactive talker, she would not be interested in making an outfit for you. So it's nothing related to my designing, but how important it is being in this industry to be able to also convince her, to be able to talk to her, to be able to tell her that this is my vision, this is your out, this is what you have, your occasion. I have this vision, and be able to convince her into it. That was also one skill I struggled with, but I got my way through. I enjoyed the process. It was one-on-one. So it was also very detail oriented. I used to pick my own fabrics. I used to customize if there was any work related on it. And I really enjoyed it. It was like whatever the customer wants, but then also understanding things like how would she look in it? Like there were clients saying that make me look thin, make me look this and that, and make me look tall. And there are some so unrealistic things. You may not be able to even answer them. But then how you as a designer work around that is important. And I found my way somewhere. And with Mosh, I started it more of a, like, why not get some, start my brand and make in just like business point of view, I thought of it. Nothing out of so much like passion or something. It was purely business. Let me go find wholesalers, create my collection, photo shoot it, and give the customers. I feel I have good taste in clothes. So why not use that? Give the audience what is right now trending and sell them purely for business. So they were totally two different um, thought process and totally two different ways that I worked with. So yeah. Fashion analyst. It is again a part of your communication, fashion communication. Like I said, even if you're a fashion designer, you may or may not, you can also be a fashion communicator. You can choose any other, you can be a fashion analyst. They are people who study trends. In big companies, specifically large companies, you have people to do research, what is trending, whether it's street style, whether it's on the runway, whatever is trending, they analyze trends. Forecasting, they analyze trends, and then they work around those trends for their brands. So they are fashion, you can say, researchers or analysts, very popular with bigger brands, not so much with the other brands. Like a local brand wouldn't have a fashion analyst, but a big brand, a luxury brand would have them. More or less. Critiques will be more into criticizing what is already being made. An analyst will be something in between who will analyze the trends and also be giving you what should be worn and what should not be worn. So it is almost the same, but they all come under fashion communication. And as fashion design students, you can also do it. It's nothing out of your league that you cannot choose that as a choice. They may seem very not so popular, but they are a lot of scope even in these areas.
See, in any profession, you need to research
Yeah.
past and future, both. Come to the conclusion for what you say. So research in this case, what you research, one, what was done before. And again, fashion is a sample. So we go now. So based on the past, you will make the predictions for the future. So this is where the analysts work, and the critics will give the critics good, bad, right, wrong. That's not good. So but the critic also should know to have knowledge of
Yeah.
analyzing the whole situation. And then, because you cannot just say, you or she cannot just say, oh,
It
this
was
is what
good.
wrong. There has to be some supporting state, support the statement, and supporting.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're going to contribute. What do you want to do? More of this. Yeah.
She has not discovered. You are in medical.
So do you know the latest trends in upcycle, recycle? And how big is that industry? Okay. Give an example, they're working on post-consumer waste textiles. So that your own clothes are being cycled and upcycled. So they're working on big project. It's a big thing.
Different. Upcycling is different. So now what she's talking about is there are a lot of waste that is generated from many big manufacturing companies. Wastage in terms of when you cut an outfit, you have so much wastage of fabric that goes around it. There could be wastage because of defects that has been caught in quality checks. So all of these wastage, this is this is manufacturing wastage. And then you have a section of consumer wastage, like clothes that we discard. Those can be consumer wastage. So there are actually brands that make a business out of this wastage. For example, there could be a brand, there are actually many brands that use manufacturing wastage and create outfits. You will find these mostly in, now this is about fashion consciousness, what I was talking about. This is sustainability. They use the waste and they create outfits. Not as much as mass outfits, maybe, but few outfits. Most
they're working into the
mass also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So post-consumer textiles, where the fabric.
Then post-consumer becomes then your old clothes.
Old clothes, they are segregated into cotton waste. So then you need the textile knowledge, textile identification. And then they do cotton waste. polyester waste.
H&M is doing that.
Yeah, mostly all the brands, all the big brands are working. That is what is happening worldwide we're working on. So,
They segregate.
And we make it into fiber and then we make it into yarn, make process and fabric. So that's what it is.
Upcycling means something that is wasted, you are giving it a new life by upcycling it. That's upcycling.
Then upcycling not actually making like suppose I'm sure taking two bags. So, you know, you collect thousands of dead end products and you're making something. And we are working on the viewing of those things. We are making pajamas, we have yarns and we have bags.
Yes.
So our bags, rugs, not wear it in the panel, but utilize it. So kitchen covers or mats or something of those kinds. So that's something we're working on. And then again, the waste which is other than textiles, is plastic waste. There's another industry totally working. So you're upcycling. That is training. That's in training now. You can always go for it and become a designer of cycling.
And you know, a lot of brands, they work on their brand image building just based on these terms. So an H&M, which was accused of being a very harmful or fast fashion brand that doesn't care about the environment, changed its brand image completely by giving it the image of fashion conscious brand, upcycling clothes. You bring your old clothes, we'll wait, we'll give you some, I don't know, discount or whatever.
It's on the like online website, and now they have their products as recycled.
Yes.
So and
So-
Yeah.
So that itself is why, because the trend today, I told you, is so different from what it was back then 10 years. People are talking about the health, the environment, right? And that is how brands are making the most of it. Whether it's really, realistically, they're doing it or it's only an image is a question. But that is the new thing that a lot of brands are working around. Whether they actually believe in it or not can be actually researched and found out. So, yes.
Any questions from the online, Priya ma'am, Pallavi ma'am, and online, any students there? Pallavi ma'am, any questions there?
We'll end the session.
We can. Any questions from you guys there?
I think you all should research on fashion conscious brands. You can pick up 3 levels of brands. You know, brand has its own hierarchy, right? First of all, there are 2 categories. One is few pieces and one is mass market. In each of that, you have categories from luxury to economical. So I want you to look at maybe ready to wear outfits or also look at designer outfits and look at few brands that are working fashion with the concept of fashion conscious brand and how they are working with it. Are they using the material? Are they reusing it? Are they taking care of other rules also in fashion conscious? A lot of things come. The manufacturing, a lot of things. So I want you to go through it and see which are these few brands in this brand hierarchy system, from luxury brands to economical brands, and try to find out a few and read up about them. It will be interesting to know. So we'll end it.
Yeah, we,
Okay.
so ask Priya. Ask her. Priya, can we end now?
I don't think you're audible. ठीक है, we will close the session. I'll be ending the meeting.
Yes.
Can I close, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.